Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day as per usual. Let's get right into it. And today in the IWM, we actually had a very nice update, and as well in the Qs. The Qs were actually up an entire 1.4%. SPY was up 76 basis points, and the Dow Jones was basically flat to positive. But overall, very big update today in the triple Qs. Not too surprising. The all-time highs are just around the corner here at 408, so it's very possible that we can pump back to the all-time highs, even make a nominal high before we start to come back down. And again, we could actually float up and keep rallying up until the end of the year, to be honest. But just remember, the count that I have right now on the IWM should be finishing pretty soon. And tomorrow we actually have some pretty important numbers. We have the non-farm payrolls coming out at 8:30 in the morning. That's going to be an estimation of 184,000. Again, if it's over that, then maybe the markets might, get a little bit nervous. If it's under that, or maybe if it's too under, maybe they'll get bearish as well. But overall, if it comes in line or even a little bit better than expected, then let's say they're expecting 184 and we get 150,000, which would be lower. The market would love that, right? Because it's bad economic news and they want the Fed to cut rates. So again, it will be interpreted as bullish, and then we would have a huge update. We'd have another face-ripping rally up. The Qs could rally another 2-3%. SPY could go up another 2%, right? So again, there's a lot of euphoria. There's a lot of momentum right now, and actually the daily looks like it's reset on the stochastic, so we could very well pump up. So don't be surprised if we get a massive face-ripping rally once again. Let's take a look here at the IWM. So overall, again, we had a flat day today. We had a nice rejection yesterday from this resistance that I had drawn out from this pivot, which is essentially the middle between the wave 1 and the wave 2, right? And right now we ran into the resistance there. The daily looks like it's rolling over. We did get a little bit of a pump near the end of the day, but again, everything else was pumping as well. So again, nothing to change here. It's just extending in a C leg. Looking at the SPY again, we've been talking about a pullback for 10 years now. No, I'm just kidding. We've been talking for a pullback for a very long time. It is due for a pullback, and it will come eventually. I guess it's just waiting for the right news to sell off. And once we do that 1-2 count, or we do our ABC count, which is going to be a corrective wave, and we finish up at a wave 2, we could come back up in a huge, massive wave 3 rally. Okay. The bearish scenario is that this turns out into a 5-wave move down, which would be extremely bearish. But again, we're waiting for news to come out, right? Let's take a look at market cipher. So nothing really changed on market cipher here. We could actually take a look at the futures. We finished with a 15 and a -3. Actually, we should not use the futures because the futures are a little bit skewed right now because it's the contract rollover. So it looks like they're gapping up 1%, but really they're flat. So we could take a look at maybe Oenda a little bit better. So yeah, essentially same thing, 12 and a -1. So you got bearish dual band strength index numbers, but you recovered a lot of that red money flow. So that's very bullish on the daily time frame. NASDAQ looks like it wants to get another pop up towards the upside. It's showing that the wave 5 is topped out, but the weekly shows that you can go higher. Okay, same thing for the S&P 500. It looks like the weekly shows that you can go higher, and I believe that's basically the Russell 2000 is showing a rally of like 63%, which I highly doubt, but we'll see. We'll see how everything plays out because I'm very bearish right now on the IWM. Let's take a look here at Wave Edge. So Wave Edge got a couple red crosses here, and it ended up pumping up. We're getting another one here on the daily time frame. The 4-hour. It looks like it's a little bit done here on the MACD. You might, if you get a cross, you could start to sell off, but a pump could definitely save it. And tomorrow we're gonna have a lot of news. So again, I wouldn't do anything too crazy at the moment. I would just kind of sit on the sidelines and wait to see what would happen. If you're not sitting in longs already, and again, you can get into some longs here and there. I actually long silver today. Nice little dip buy on that quick wick down. We could probably take a look at it very quickly. Silver got a nice wick down here during the intraday, and actually bought right around 23.56, somewhere around here, and we timed it very nicely. So we got a nice little dip buy, and now we're up. So overall, let me take a look at some individual names. Nothing has changed. I'm going to be waiting for news tomorrow before actioning any trades or anything like that. So let's take a look at some individual names. Let's start off by taking a look at SBUX, because they're a new addition to the list. So SBUX right now is in the process of finishing wave 1. The stochastics are showing that this should be finished here, but RSI, you could technically go a little bit lower. We could dive into the smaller time frames. Yeah, they should be finishing up. You did get rejected from this previous pivot here that I mentioned yesterday. Kind of acted as resistance. And now if you manage to overtake it and hold it as support, then you're going to flip up, and then you'll come back up into wave 2, which your primary target should be 102.40 cents. Okay. After that, you may very well come back down in a wave 2 and finish up a larger ABC pattern on a macro scale, and then you might come back down. But again, this could push higher as well. And again, this could technically invalidate the B wave, but this is the count that we have right now. Let's take a look at PayPal. PayPal actually got a nice little dip today after coming into the resistance area, the sell area once again, and then it sold off. It gapped down a little bit. It's just chopping sideways, down 1.76%. Nothing too crazy there. We will get confirmation of a definitive break once we probably get below 57.10 now. So if we get a daily candle close below here, we could very well be beginning at the wave 5. Okay. Let's take a look at ROKU. ROKU again. Again, selling off in a 1-2 pattern. So now it should be in 3. So if this is your third wave, this is going to be a very quick drop. Okay. Let me do something like this. Okay. So that should be ROKU, and ROKU could be finishing up in something like that. Okay. Something like this, and then you'll come back down and boom, 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 and then you'll finish up A. You'll come back in B, and then finish up in C. Right. Or again, this could be very small wave 3. It doesn't have to be so big, right? It could be smaller, right? You can make it fit your scale or whatnot. Come back into B, or just sideways chop, and then end up in a C, down to here, to this upsloping trend line that I've drawn out, which is a pretty important one. All right, so that's it for ROKU in the short term. It hit the sell area one time, and it's just been selling off since. And again, that was probably a good short area, right around 108.23. Let's take a look at the mega caps. The mega caps are getting more, they're getting further. They keep extending, right? So right now it looks like the Y wave is extending higher and higher. So again, until it crosses the all-time high, then you're still valid, but you are pushing it right now. You really are starting to push it. But overall, it's past my area. I wouldn't short it anymore. This was probably your chance, and we did get a rejection from there. But it's the Mag 7, right? Buy the dip. So there's just too strong. It's too many buy the dippers. Too many buyers essentially, right? You just have too much bullishness. Too many buyers, and not enough sellers. And there's no bad news, right? Everything is good news, and bad news is good news right now. And until bad news becomes bad news, then until the economic numbers actually impact the market in a negative way, then we won't have any major sell-offs. Right now, good news is good news, and bad news about the economy is good news for the market, right? For as the market interprets it, right? Because they keep hearing soft landing. Google is up a significant amount today, 5.31%. I think they were talking. What was the news today? I didn't really read. U.S. equities closed. Sector update, tech gain late afternoon. I wasn't too sure what the news about Google was, but I heard some news about AMD getting a competitive chip against NVDA. Had a 9% rally today. Amazing rally in NVIDIA. In AMD. And NVIDIA did get a rally as well, right? You got a nice little bid. Looking at the smaller time frames, this could be technically your wave 2 could be finished. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's wave A, B, and a C. You actually might still push higher in wave 2, or you might push higher on wave 2. So you might do something like this. You might do something like that in wave 2, on a smaller time frame. So that's essentially it for NVIDIA, and then you should be coming back down in wave 3. But this, again, guys, it's gonna take time, right? Nothing happens in overnight in a straight line unless you get a big black swan event. But I don't think that's gonna happen. Yeah, so that's basically the count for NVIDIA. Let's take a look here at one more stock. I believe we were doing it before. And let me see if I can find it. If I can't find it, I'll just move on. Okay. Anyways, I can't find it. I have too many symbols to take a look at. Let's take a look at oil. So oil is getting a nice little bounce today, or right now, I should say. Actually sold off more today. Right, the USO was down. The USO was down, I believe. Yes, no. Yes, it was down. The USO was down on the day. Actually made a lower low. But oil is starting to find some support here. Right around these previous levels of support around 68. It should bounce back up and hit this as resistance, and then start to come back down after. So we should rally to like 74, 50 cents, something like that, and then we should be coming back down in a wave 3, 4, and a 5. Okay, that's basically it. Natural gas is really struggling. It's dipping down lower, but it's holding support, or at least it's trying to. We hit all these previous support levels here, and we're just holding for now. So again, when I talk about natural gas in the long term, it means like months and years, right? It's very bullish. You're at 40-year lows, right? So this is the accumulation phase before big spikes and runs, and we are going to head into a commodity cycle, and that's going to be very bullish. Let me just take a look here. I want to see if I still have the count drawn up on my other chart. Yeah, so again, this could be essentially a wave 4, right? This could be the wave 4 finishing up, and you could be coming back down in a wave 5. So you could have technically met the minimum requirements of a wave 4, although this was a massive wave 3, and we didn't get that much of a bounce, and you could be coming back down in a wave 5. You are oversold on the daily, and you could get bounces here and there, but your major trend could be down for a couple of more weeks, maybe until the end of the year next, and then we will get a rally next year. Yeah, so that's essentially it. Taking a look at the yields. The yields actually, got a little bit of a bounce today. They managed to hold this level as support. It broke past through my level that I had, but again, there's another one down at 4.3. Oh, did we hit 4.3? Oh, we got 4.39. You can get actually down to 4.3, or even like down to these levels here and hold this as support, and you could still go higher in yields, believe it or not. Let's take a look at the 30-year. Not the 30-year. I wanted to take a look at the dollar, actually. So the dollar is trying to flip the 200-day as support after it fell below it. If it can do that and it starts to rally back up, that'll be bearish for the markets, because that'll put additional pressure on equities. But right now, something that I don't think many people are talking about is the Japanese yen is starting to blow up here. So not blow up, but like the chart is blowing up down towards the downside. They are trying to defend their currency, and they may have a policy shift coming, which they've never done. They've always done easy money, low interest rates, and just kept printing money. So they've been doing that for a very, very long time. But if they try to shift the policy, right, this would be a game changer for the market, because the Japan is the central bank for the other central banks. That's where all the other central banks go to borrow money, right? It's cheap money in Japan. Very, very low rates. The Nikkei was not liking that today. The Nikkei was down almost 2.5%, and so is the Japanese yen. All right, or sorry, the Japanese yen was up, and this is against the dollar. So the US dollar was down against the Japanese yen. If you really want to see it, you can just look at yen futures. I believe Japanese yen futures, they are spiking. So the Japanese yen futures, they're just spiking like crazy right now. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. I'm just waiting patiently to see what's going to happen. I'm not, getting into some crazy crazy positions right now. Just sitting on the sideline is okay for me. And but overall, you know, you have a lot of bullishness in the market, very, very bullish. And I hear people like keep saying, I can't wait until seasonality kicks in. You are in this seasonality, right? You may have already had it, right? This is a seasonality run, right? The people, if you're waiting for another rally for seasonality, it may not happen, right? But again, you never know. You never know. Good data tomorrow could push this thing way, way, way up. And the SPY could technically break the July highs tomorrow if the data is good. And that will confirm and finally confirm at least one scenario, which would be the bullish one, right? We'll break the July highs on the actual index, and then boom, we'll be the last indice to do that, and then we can finally go up to new all-time highs. Okay? That's basically it. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you on tomorrow's video. Peace.